So in today's video, we're going to talk about how buyer fear can actually price a buyer right out of their dream home. My name is Sean Price. I am with the Home Team Group here at eXp Realty, and I'm going to go into a very specific case study on today's video regarding the challenges that buyers are having in this market. As everybody in the Northern Virginia market is aware, it has been a very strong seller's market. We did have a small window where it softened for a little while. It has started picking back up again. We may be moving to a little bit more of a softening through November and December. We'll have to see how that plays out. But even if we do soften a little bit, the story that I'm going to talk about today and what I'm going to show you applies to you directly if you are a buyer in this market. You really need to pay attention to what we're going through and see how the mechanics of this market's working, and how if you don't take the appropriate strategy when you're trying to purchase a property, it can end up costing you in the long run and possibly even price you out of the house that you're looking for. All right, so let's go to the numbers and let's look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a pull of a neighborhood for Glenkirk Estates in Gainesville, Virginia. And if you look, you'll see all of the houses are very close to the same size. So they're 3,300 square feet, in that range. They all have 4 bedrooms. Not sure why this has a 0. There are no pictures on this property, but they just may have wanted the details removed. All of the properties are selling very, very quickly, and I've put them in chronological order. So starting with the most recent sale is at the top, and then I went back a year, and January 29th was the first sale in 365 days in this group of houses. All right, so here's what's an important thing to look at. We have on January 29th, which means this house was probably listed around mid to late December, this house was listed at $640,000. That was $204 a square foot. $640,000, it ended up selling at $685,000. So it went for $45,000 above ask, which is reasonable considering this current market. Now, a buyer looking at this house priced at $640,000 would probably come in and be nervous about putting an offer in at $685,000. In fact, I've had numerous buyers that go through this. And what ends up happening is they see this house for $640,000. They know it's going into multiple offers, so they might offer $660,000 just to see if they can get it. Okay. And one of the things that we explain to our buyers quite often is, if you want the house, it's in the area that you want, remember there are 3 criteria. There's condition of the home, there's the price of the home, and there's location. Right now, condition and location from a buyer's perspective, location is prime. Condition can be improved. Price of the home, you want to get it for as close to ask as you can. Thinking that you might get it under ask for most properties in this market is unrealistic. So what ends up happening is buyers are missing out on a property, and the one that they just missed out on becomes their next comp. Okay, so that's the basic premise here. So this is a story of an actual buyer. Okay, so, and the buyer did not come in here. The buyer was not in the market at this point. So this neighborhood started at $640 at the beginning of this year. The house sold for $685. That $685 became the next comp for the next house. So now this house that was on the market for $640 is now on the market at $710,000. The value of that house just jumped $70,000, almost a little over 10%. And this house sold for $725,000 in 2 days. So they had multiple offers and it went up. Okay, so now back out a little bit. The comps here, this large of a comp, that's probably why this only sold for $15,000 above ask, is because the comps were sitting around the 640 to 680 range, and this agent and this seller started trying to stretch the market by going in at 710. So they had to stretch the market even further with 725 because they had to worry about appraisals. Okay, so you have now this house that started at 640 is now, these are all 4-bedroom houses, is now valued at $725, and it's been 6 months. It's an $85,000 difference. But the key to this is, if there was a buyer here that bid at this 710, but only wanted to go to 720 because they just didn't feel like it would be worth it, and they missed it by $5,000, now this is the next comp. Okay, now watch what happens. This next home on 627 I'm sorry, on 727, they listed it at 699. Now this agent did it the way that I was describing in a previous video that I did on a pricing strategy. They came in right under 700,000 so they could get all the buyers that were interested at 700,000. And they knew that the comp was going to be at 725. I checked this, and this property closed on 611. This property was listed on 612. So this agent saw 725, and so they went and used a strategy that's very common in this market, and they went 699.9. And they did that so that they would generate the interest. And lo and behold, this property went for $81,000 above ask. So now, in a period of 7 months, this property's gone from 640 to 780. In a period of 1 month, it's gone from 710 to 780. Now, this buyer here that missed out at 720 because they put in an offer 720 and they lost out at 725. Now, if they want this same house, they've got to come in at 780,000 plus. Okay, that cost them, what's that, $60,000 because of being nervous about going that extra little bit. Okay, so now we're at 780. All right. Then this house comes on the market, and this house comes on at 775 and sells at 775 in 5 days. Now, here's the thing. This house is pending. We don't know what this house sold for, okay? This house is actually still, that we won't know the settlement price until it actually settles, which is in a couple days from now. Likely, this house is going to be higher than the one we're about to talk about. So this one, we're at 699, goes up to 780. This is where my buyer actually entered into the market, was here at 750. So this house, 8701 Lord's Loop, the buyer came in and offered, he put in a good offer. He offered $770,000 for this property, missed it by $10,000. So now this property that was worth 640 is now worth $780,000. That's the next comp. So my buyer, because he missed that by 10,000, the next property that comes on the market is going to be based on this price. So it's actually going to cost even more. Now, once this property settles, I have a feeling this property is going to settle closer to 800,000. And there's another property that's on the market right now. It's a for sale by owner. That one is priced at 805,000. It's on the same road, Lord's Loop. Now, here's the key. Look at the price per square foot. It's just consistently going up. The one on Lord's Loop, the for sale by owner, is priced at $241 a square foot. It's priced at 805,000. I actually talked to the owner, and they have 2 offers at or above ask. So that property is going to go above 800,000. So here's the main thing to think about. A buyer comes in. When you're a buyer in this market, it's very, very difficult to get yourself to go above ask. You feel like you're getting ripped off. But if you miss that property just became your competition, and the next property is going to be even more expensive, and you're going to have to go even further above ask. So for example, coming back to this property, January, this property was 640,000. The people that bought it at 685 in January, they probably felt like they way overpaid. Now that we're in September, October, and the values are over $800,000, these guys are brilliant, okay? And that's going to continue. Now, is it going to continue at this rate of appreciation? Nobody knows, but even if it slows down to 5% or it slows down to 10%, that appreciation is going to keep on happening. The mechanics of this market are strong. The mechanics of this market, people that are getting these loans are qualified. They have equity in the property. Because of the great appreciation, very few people are actually upside down on properties right now, so we're not going to see a huge crash. All right, so this is something to keep in mind. If you are a buyer in this market, if you see the house that you love and you can afford to do so, you have to go after it aggressively, because if you don't, you will pay more on the next house, and you may end up pricing yourself out of a market. Let's say, for example, going back here just one more second, let's say that this person's top budget was $800,000. And all of these in here they missed out on. Well, now, as soon as this for sale by owner one, when it closes, that's going to be above 800,000. As soon as this property closes, that's probably going to be close to, if not over 800,000. That buyer is now priced out of this neighborhood. And then when you throw into that the fact that interest rates may go up a little bit here over the next year or so, there's no way they could afford to live in the neighborhood, and they've lost that opportunity. So buyers beware, buyers be aggressive. Make sure your terms are strong in your offer so that you can make the best offer possible. and get that offer and get that win, because you'll be thankful for it, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years from now. Okay, hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, I know I rambled on a little bit here. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to click the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video.